Greetings! Today's video is a little different from the videos I've done before. I'm joined by none other than Terror Firma of the Terror Firma setting and channel. He narrates his own original stories, often as his alter ego, the Mad Prophet, as well as creating other content surrounding the Terror Firma setting. Today, he is lending his voice to some excerpts of stories I have in the works. Note that these stories are still being written and are viable to change, including the titles. If you're interested in seeing what he has to offer on his own channel, I will have a link in the description below and a pinned comment, and also you can find him in my featured channels list. So, without further ado, here's the Mad Prophet.
Before I begin, I would like to thank Tales of the Solstice for agreeing to this collaboration. I hope to do justice to these story excerpts, which I'm sure will become part of very thrilling stories that will no doubt enthrall the minds of all those who partake in watching and listening. So are you sitting comfortably? No? That's too bad, because I'm going to begin. This is an excerpt from Nature's Warnings. The rolling R doubles as an animal shelter. Horses, deer, buffalo, caribou and elk are the Raslier family's made herds for actual breeding. Their deer are unique as they only breed white ones, but more than that, their herds are one more thing that makes them stand out. A rare habit of having one black stag born whenever something that will impact the entire town is about to happen. They never say anything about this to anyone and only set these deer aside in a barn secluded in the woods on their property. The point is not just to hide the animals from the general public due to the coincidence of their births, but also to keep them locked away for public safety, as these animals are far more aggressive than their white counterparts. This aggression steadily grows with each one's birth, and their owners can't figure out why. They are only aware of the pattern. The animals go crazy, trying to break out of their stalls, and attack whenever feeding time comes around. A black stag's birth doesn't mean immediate bad juju, but it's at least a couple of years off yet. And it isn't always bad either. This year just happens to be one of the worst. What seems like a normal day ends up hell for the owners as the stags escape their barn and cause terror around town. This is an excerpt from Skelton Liske. While Cries is out running around Ethereal Springs with Olympia, Eclipse and a spectral companion Jet are the only ones in the house. Things are quiet until Eclipse begins getting indirectly tied up in things happening in Ethereal Springs. Once the women begin talking about Ethereal Springs, something within the house becomes restless. Once Eclipse's desire to get her own place and be more independent than she's ever been since the night she met Cries turns into a regular topic between the two women, things begin getting weird. Belongings getting moved around, wild animals getting stuck in the house and suddenly disappearing. And strange images and messages being popped up out of nowhere. Just what is this all about? The question is like a broken record in Eclipse's mind. She tries to figure it out. The answer is something she would never have guessed in a million years. This is an excerpt from Beware the Meremaker. Everybody knows that dream catchers trap the bad dreams within their webs and allow the good dreams to pass on through. Dream catchers are created with a perfect shape. Raw hide or some sort of string, looped around to make a sort of web-like pattern within the hoop and decorated with beads and feathers. Meremakers, on the other hand, are imperfect shapes. Have the same sort of webbing design as dream catchers, decorated with beads, feathers and sometimes bones or even dead animals, such as crows or rats. Meremakers deal with more than just dreams. They trap evil in its place. A border of meremakers acts like a fence for livestock, preventing what is there from leaving. Stealing and even breaking a meremaker encourages what is trapped inside to attach itself to the person responsible for breaking their enclosure. Ignorance is not always bliss, more often than not. Ignorance opens a gate to what could be a living hell. This is an excerpt from Hidden in Plain Sight. A lot of schools have Halloween parades, where the students dress up in their costumes and walk some kind of mapped route. Halloween parades in Imperial Springs are as big as a deal as the Macy's Thanksgiving Parade and the Walt Disney Christmas Parade. Halloween parades include floats built by locals who are massive DIYers and Halloween enthusiasts. What if some of these floats were decorated with more than just living people and plastic and costumes? Who would do something like that and why? Is it a resident of Imperial Springs, or is it an outsider that has come to cause trouble? Could it be something darker and less tangible at work in the city?
Special thanks to Terra Firma for helping out with this little collab. Like I said, his links will be in the description and the pinned comment down below, and as a backup location, he is also in my featured channels list. Hope you all look forward to the projects, as I look forward to finally getting them completed. And remember, stay safe, stay sane, stay healthy, and as always, life would be boring without a few scares.